Welcome to this assembly. I am the host, servant of Yahweh Soya, and I'm thrilled to get back into the series Redline because we have a lot of places to go and a short time to get there. That being said, I last left off in chapter 33, verse 14. Today I'm picking up in verse 15 of chapter 33. And verse 15 reads, "And Esau said, Let me now leave with you some of the folk that are with me. And he said, What needs it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord." In other words, take your people with you, brother. Let me prove myself worthy of your trust, because I don't trust you. I don't need your men watching where I'm going, because I don't plan on going with you. That was the short version. All right, verse 16. "So Esau returned that day on his way unto Seir. He returned with his people. He did not return with Yaakov or any of Yaakov's people." And he didn't leave any of his people with Yaakov. Now I also want to bring out what Seir is. Seir, according to the translators of the E64, it means rough. It means a mountain of Edom and its aboriginal occupants, also one in Yasharel. So there's a Mount Seir in Yasharel, Israel. Nevertheless, Mount Seir is a mountain which is, let's say, owned by Edom, owned by Esau. Is his land. All right, so while you may go out and choose a field, choose a clearing by a river or an oceanfront view, Esau chose a mountain. All right. Okay, verses 17 and 18. "And Yaakov journeyed to Cucuth and built him a house and made Cucuth for his cattle. Therefore, the name of the place is called Cucuth. And Yaakov came to Shalem, a city of Shekem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padan Aram and pitched his tent before the city." So I don't know how long it took Yaakov to journey to Cucuth, but however long it took, Cucuth is not where Mount Seir is located. So he went somewhere else. Verse 19. "And he bought a parcel of a field where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Chamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. Yaakov accepted nothing from anyone. He paid for what was his. His loyalty, his debt, was now exclusively to Yahweh alone. The land of Canaan will one day be the promised land of Yasharel." So until his generations have possessed the land, according to, as he said, his father, Yahuwah, bring him back to his land in peace until that time. And in that time, he had already bought land there. All right, verse 20. "And he erected there an altar and called it El-Elahai Yasharel, the El of Yasharel." All right, that's going to wrap it up for chapter 33. Going to move on to chapter 34. Then starting off, going to verse 1. I wanted to skip it, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. Verse 1. Well, verses 1 and 2. "And Diynah, the daughter of Leah, which she bore unto Yaakov, went out to see the daughters of the land. And with Shekem, the son of Chamor the Kivi, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. I think he is said to have defiled her because he did not have anyone's permission or agreement to lay with her. It seemed to me there was more than the sex act." Now, it could mean some other things too. However, just from this verse alone, it's unclear that defiling her was more than a sex act. We could assume that there were some raunchy things, that he did to her. But for now, we're just going to leave it at he defiled her by having, let's say, sex that wasn't approved of. All right, verse 3. And his soul clave unto Diynah, the daughter of Yaakov. And he loved the damsel, and spoke kindly unto the damsel. He went about it the wrong way, but he seemed to have wanted more than an opportunistic rape of her. He did not have to speak kindly to her and develop warm feelings and lift her up. But he did. He has warm feelings for her and expressed them to her. What we do not get is how all this went over with her. Did she feel like a victim here, or were his actions received by her as true? Now that seems weird, but we have a term called Stockholm Syndrome today that could very well apply to her in this moment. Verse 4. And Shekem spoke unto his father Chamor, saying, Get me this damsel to be my woman. Just how long did he have her? It seems as though he had her over a period of time, long enough to feel like he wanted her to be his own. Were the feelings mutual? That's the question. We don't get much on women, let alone how they feel about things. Rivka was an exception because she was the main character. She was the main person, rather, in this event. So we hear a lot about her. However, Diynah, daughter of Leah, who really was not wanted, if that's a good way to say it, by Yaakov, she don't seem to have much of a voice here. So it's not unusual. That's just how it was. All right, verses 5 through 8. And Yaakov heard that he had defiled Diynah his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Yaakov held his peace until they were come. And Chamor, the father of Shekem, went out unto Yaakov to commune with him. And the sons of Yaakov came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Yasharel in lying with Yaakov's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Chamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shekem longs for your daughter. I pray you give her him to be his woman. Now at some point, Chamor had spoken with his son and tried to express that conversation with Yaakov. Now Yaakov had become aware because obviously Diynah had been released and allowed to return to her family. We don't get what type of state she was in. Just in the reading, it doesn't sound as though she was very distraught, although she well could have been, rightly would have been. After who knows how long Shekem had her. Nonetheless, Chamor is here asking for her on behalf of his son. Now, I don't know how Yaakov is taking this right now, because he have the father of the man who, in his mind, has defiled his daughter, asking on behalf of the man who defiled her, when the man himself should have had the nerve to do it himself. All right, verse 9. And make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. This is the first mention of the word marriage in Scripture. How long has the practice been taking place in the lands of Canaan, if indeed it was? Or was this just the translators inserting this word to try to make sense of what was happening then at that time relative to how we do things today? Was it just a white thing, or were the brown inhabitants practicing it also? In this instance, it is unknown at this point what their color is. All right, verses 10 through 17. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possessions therein. And Shekem said unto her father and unto her brethren, Let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me as the damsel to be my woman. I'm going to stop right there because Shekem is making an appeal. He's saying, ask me what you want. This woman is valuable to me, so I will give you whatever you ask for her. Forget what I did. Forgive me. Give me this woman. She is special to me. Now there was something in there that I thought was interesting. I didn't want to stop. Oh, the fact that Shekem is actually speaking. He's there. So kudos to him. All right, verses 13 through 17. And the sons of Yaakov answered Shechem and Chamor his father deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Diynah their sister. And they said unto them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become as one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be uncircumcised, then we will take our daughter, and we will be gone. That was a compromise of the highest caliber. They listened to him. They said, no, you can't do it. However, if you do this, then we'll accept you and your daughters. They had no reason to doubt that the sons of Yaakov were trying to strike an agreeable bargain in order to allow Shekem to have their sister. Let's see how it works out. Verse 18. And their words pleased Chamor and Shekem, Chamor's son. What they were unaware of was the family history of Yaakov as a deceiver. His family, particularly on his mother's side, where his women came from, were adept at deceit. Even more, they were unaware of how vulnerable they would be after being circumcised. Every male among them would be circumcised at the same time, leaving none able to put up a defense. All right, verses 19 through 26. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Yaakov's daughter. He was more honorable than all the house of his father. And Chamor and Shekem, his son, came unto the gate of their city and communed with the men of their city, saying, These men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land and trade therein for the land. Behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for women, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people, if every male among us be circumcised, as they are circumcised. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And unto Chamor and unto Shekem his son hearkened all that went out of the gates of his city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Yaakov, Shimon and Levi, Diynah's brethren, took each man his sword and came upon the city boldly and slew all the males. And they slew Chamor and Shekem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Diynah out of Shechem's house and went out. The end. Now, I paused a minute because I pronounced Levi's name incorrectly. It's not Levi, as we are so accustomed to saying, it's Levi. Now this was a loaded set of scriptures. Here, Shekem and Chamor, they talk with the people of the city, and they make a rather rousing testimony, saying that, not only will we have their women, but we'll have all their possessions. Look, these people are wealthy. They have much cattle and, many maid servants and men servants and, many belongings. That all of that would be ours. We'll be one people. They were seething, and not only Shekem getting what he wanted, which is, the rightful possession of Diynah, but they'll also be getting all these other things along with that. And they convinced their people to get this hack job done, and eventually they were hacked up. Just like I'm hacking up this episode. Until next time on this assembly, I hope you enjoyed this good day.